If you've been here any time at all, you know that I work with moms who grew up in chaos and are now not experiencing life or parenthood as they had hoped. So today, I want to talk about how another characteristic that these women share, they're highly intelligent, and that intelligence helped them be able to beat the odds. They were able to get where they are. They're not in chaos. They've made it further than maybe what people would think if they knew how they grew up. And it's that very intelligence that causes them to be able to be more highly defended. Perhaps you've heard people say about having defenses, like that's a defense mechanism. Well, these women are really intelligent, and because of that, they have lots of defenses. Um, from my own experience, I was sitting in a counseling session with my counselor. I was the client, and he said to me, "Jaleesa, you're highly defended." And he said that because he was trying to help me work through something, and I I wasn't trying to be obstinate. I wasn't trying to be difficult. It's I just kept finding all these reasons or these these things that like I couldn't get down to what I actually wanted to say. One of the things that was happening, and I remember this clearly, is that I would start to feel some kind of emotional pain, and then just almost instantly, it was totally gone. And I was fine. I was fine. I actually felt fine. And of course, I couldn't describe what was happening inside because it wasn't happening anymore. This is an example of one of those defenses. There's lots of examples of those defenses. There's a lot of the defenses. And so I think one of the most damaging defenses that I see in my clients is self-neglect. And it's self-neglect in the name of love. Now, how that pattern gets born is, or how it comes to be, is during childhood. If their needs weren't being met, as all children do, they blame themselves because they can't risk not being connected to whatever care is available for them to receive. And so this self neglect becomes a pattern. It's if I'm not too much, if I, do the right things, if I am like compliant, if I am, if I do everything to get along, if I'm a good child, then I will be able to stay in connection with my caregiver. I won't be essentially abandoned. And that turns out to be self-neglect. And then as we get older, we start to gather more reasons around it. Like, well, I don't want to be like my caregivers were, so I'm going to put their needs first, everyone's needs first, because I don't want to neglect someone like I was neglected. Here's the sneaky truth is that this self-neglect is also what we're teaching. And that's the dangerous part of it is that when we teach self-neglect, then we're passing on survival. We're not passing on thrive. I heard a quote, and I can't remember exactly who it was. Maybe I'll drop it in comments if I can find it again. But it said, yeah, you'll die for your child, but will you chase your dreams for them? And when I first heard that, it kind of punched me in the stomach. And I started thinking about how important it is for us to not just survive our lives, because children learn by example, not and by experience. That's how we learned. They learn by example and by experience. And if we don't find a way to finish breaking that pattern, then we're passing on survival just in a different type skin. If you want clarification on anything that I've said today, feel free to reach out. Um, we'll talk more in the future about these defenses and how they can show up. Thank you for spending part of your time with me and a cup of tea, and I'll see you next time.